what's going to be the backdrop for the next discussion, but I will explain what it is doing, what it is trying to show, right? So on the leftmost screen, you're going to see real-time transactions that we are going to simulate. This is complete UPI transaction that will be simulated on that side. Okay, whatever be the transaction rate that is going to show, TPS is going to show the real-time transactions that we'll be posting onto the system. I'll come here. We're going to talk about the progress of the entire end-of-day processing on here. This is the summary screen that you're going to see. Sheikh, can you just please start end of day?
They acknowledged Ramki.
Perfect. Can you also start the real-time transactions?
Starting.
Vivek? Yeah. So while they start, I'll explain what this screen and how to read the screen. We have divided end-of-day processing into an 6-stage rocket with 2 payloads. Right? What I mean by that, these stages, we have been inspired by Chandrayaan. So there are 6-stage rockets. This is stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4, stage 5, stage 6. And over there, you'll be seeing statements and financial reports as payloads. Like after the rocket has landed, you have dropped those 2 payloads. That's what you'll be seeing as they progress. Here is the same screen. These are the 8 stages, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These are the 8 stages you will be seeing. They will be progressing. They will not disturb anybody, but they will just show what they're doing. So you could just see at the very outset, okay, there is this point that is saying that, okay, there is a data preparation going on. Accounts being assessed at the top is 208 million accounts. Like I asked for 200 million accounts. If you're asking for 200 million accounts, my engineer said that you'll get 208 million accounts. Take it or go. So I'm taking 208 million accounts in place of 200 million accounts. So that's what it is. And you're going to just see the real-time transactions. They have already started. We have reached the 4.113 thousand, that is 4,000 transactions per second. These are the UPI authorizations that are happening on a credit line. That's what you're seeing on the left. This is end-of-day processing that has already started. It will go on processing 200 million accounts, assess interest that need to be assessed, generate statements that need to be generated, change statuses that need to be changed, and everything will be happening on this screen. That screen is going to show you how the progress is happening. Thank you. And as I come back here, as you have seen, whatever the green dots need to be lit up have been lit up. Let me try and explain what has happened here. On the right-hand side, you can already see that we have been consistently processing 10.5K worth of transactions. You see the graph hovering between 10.2 to 10.8K. Not quite visible maybe, but the numbers, but that's what it is showing. And processing about 19 million transactions thus far, right? These are UPI authorizations. Now, one number that he didn't tell you, but that you could see, and of something of significance, is this number, the P95. What is this? This says we're able to process authorization, every single authorization, in 77 milliseconds. Now, I repeat, 77 milliseconds. Right? That is the transaction authorization time on this platform that you have seen. This is a credit authorization that has happened in 77 milliseconds and with 0 failure rate. Right? This is while end of day is happening. This is while end of day is happening. Now, I'll tell you what all these stages mean. Just quickly, I know that okay, we're all waiting for something better than me, but okay, so just let me just talk about it. The first phase is called end of period initiated. This is when we would have triggered that day end has started. Real-time transactions will no longer be considered in today's balance. They will start being considered in the next day's balance. And whatever be the assessments being happened for the day, they will be processed further. So every step starts with what we call as the data preparation. I will not go into technical details. I'm not going to make it a lecture on computer science or EOPI, but I just want to say that, okay, data is prepared for 208 million ledgers and all the accounts are being assessed. What I mean by that is how much interest need to be charged, how much fees need to be charged. All of this is happening in the step 1, right? They're only assessment that is happening. And in step 2, the assessed values are posted to the accounts. That is how much our fee need to be charged. what the entire system is saying is that, can you just zoom into that UOPI orchestra, right? So what you're seeing here is that out of 208 million accounts assessed, interest is being assessed for 14 million ledgers. Can you just hover on the number? I think it's not visible, but we can just go to the next one. Interest assessed is about 13.9 million accounts and late fee and whatever not it is. I'll show you a summary of it, but that's what is happening. Let's go back to the overview, right? So accordingly, and that's being posted. And next stage is end of financial input, which essentially means everything that need to be done on the accounts has been completed. It can be assessed for various statuses. Is it delinquent? Is it NPA? Is it to be charged off? And whatever not it is, all those statuses are being assessed. And finally, the period is being closed and the balances are being finalized and the books are being closed. Once the books are being closed, the next both statementing and preparation of financial reports have happened simultaneously. That is the depiction of all these screens. I'll take you to few other artifacts that show what has happened here. Can you just go back to the overview? The summary, sorry. Go to the summary.
Yeah, switching.
This is what has happened, right? We have processed 208 million accounts, as we just said. In the process, during the end of day, while 20 million accounts were being, 20 million transactions, real-time transactions were being processed, 77 million postings from the end of day calculations have been processed. Like these are the fees assessed, interest assessed, and so on and so forth that are posted to the same set of accounts. And overall, just as the calculation of that end of day process has yielded this output, there is an account summary that you can just see. There are 40 million accounts that are billed. Delinquent accounts are 44.7 million accounts. 4 million are revolvers that are assessed, newly assessed today. And transactions account are 40.7 million. And I can go into various other things. It's just giving you a summary of those, all the calculations in one go. Can we just go into the balance sheet? Right, the Balance Explorer. After end of day, it has computed the balance sheet and it's readily available instantaneously, and you could just go into various views of that. I'm not going to make it a product demo, but this you can just say as a proof that entire account day has been closed and you can access everything real time. It shows you multiple views and all that stuff. This is a product demo I don't want to get into. Can you go to the next one, please? The entire, the statements. So these are the statements that are generated. Okay, we can show one or two examples. Pick the second one. Yes. This is a statement. It is being served from S3. You can just see that, okay, this is a statement of a credit account that is generated while this is happening, right? So I just want to say, while I'm showing this statement, this is a printed statement that you could get. What has happened to statements, right? The rate at which statements are produced, I'm sure you all have seen your systems produce statements, credit card statements. These are 175,000 statements are produced per second, right? 40 million statements were produced in 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 35 seconds. That's what the last phase says. The entire process took 5 minutes, 35 seconds, 175,000 statements were produced per second, and each statement was produced in 75 milliseconds, and that's what the entire thing is showing. Now, what's important, I'll just go to how is it done, right? I don't want to then make it a technical session. Can we just go to the resources view on this side? So what has happened here? Thanks to AWS, this is what we call as cloud native. You just don't have to buy any of these things ahead of time. Just for this computation, we have used 23,535 CPU cores. These are just spun up for this demo, and they will be just given away. By the way, just because IPL is running and AWS teams advised us don't do a demo with a spot instances, what may have been a 45-minute session that we planned could become a 1-hour session. We didn't want to take that risk. We reserved this course. Otherwise, we could have run on what is called as the spot instances. You don't buy anything, you just use whatever is available unused. That's spot instances. We could have used them, But for this demo, we reserved to get a predictable timeline. So we're just looking at 23,535 CPU cores that were used during this computation overall. And the next one, 5.24 terabytes. Now 5.24 terabytes, anything we talk in terabytes, we start looking at them as hard disk. Now this is RAM, right? 5.25 terabytes of RAM has been procured on demand to make this computation happen with 4,200 computational pods. These are Kubernetes pods that are spun up to make all of this happen. Now, 126 databases, and it's a different paradigm. We don't put data in one database. These are 126 databases that you're talking about. And by the way, these databases are not actually doing all the computation or accessing the data. The paradigm is data stored. Like the amount of data that is sitting in S3 during this computation, the statements were served from S3. The amount of computation that has happened on S3 and Athena, AWS Athena, all of that is completely different, right? We'll just talk about that as well. But 126 databases with 2,700 cores are used for this computation. Now, I'll just say that with this, I just will switch to another view. We can actually start decommissioning the resources, Sheikh. We can start decommissioning.
Yeah, starting downscale.
Okay, yeah. We could just look at these statements. Can we just show the, do we have the S3 data also?
S3 list.
That's fine. Okay, so yeah. These are 40 million records that you are seeing on the S3 as processed, but we'll not worry further about it, but we'll just keep it to this, right? So all this in the next 5 minutes, we would have given up all the compute that we have reserved and you would have got 0. And by the way, what could be the cost of this entire thing? Any guesses? Well, granted AWS is a partner, they are giving it for free today, but what is it like? So it's $600 per day. $600 for 200 million accounts, of which 40 million statements are generated. $600, you wipe it off, nothing for the next hour. I call this, it's not about being on the cloud, but being cloud native. Being able to reimagine what's possible, how to make it happen, and I think it's all in front of us. We're not able to synthesize it for our benefit to the fullest, and we're just putting across a possibility to you. And this is reality. Nothing is simulated. The entire data set, everything would be available to you. It's 100% of it is processed on that large compute that we have been able to pull on demand and make it all happen for you.